Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's day 51 of 60-day reading challenge, and in today's video, we are going to read from the chapter 16 to chapter 17 from the book called The Rudest Book Ever by Shweta Gangwar. So let me just check whether this video is actually live streaming or not. Otherwise, that will be a problem. So yeah, this video is actually streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Twitter is not the streaming platform, it's Periscope. If you just go to the Periscope, you can find it as well. So, from wherever you're listening to, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's just see. So, today is the last day of the Rudest Book Ever. So, I'm very excited that this book, when I started reading, I could not, say that I like it so much, but the moment I, reached to the middle of the book, or almost at the end of the book, I really like this book, I would say. So yeah, and let me just check that everything is going well or not. Okay, so everything is working perfectly fine, and yeah, so let's just start reading without wasting any more time, because we don't need to read a lot of pages, I guess, today. The reason is I just wanted to make a light day today, so because I did not want to read so much. Yeah. So from tomorrow, or maybe then day after tomorrow, the angle and everything will be going to be fine, I guess, because I have ordered a new tripod, and it's going to be specifically for the overhead shots like that you see right on the seat on YouTube or anything like that. So yeah, 16 and 17 chapter that we are going to read. So we're going to read from the 179 to, no, today I have to read a lot, I guess. 179 to 178 to 213 pages. Okay. So it's around 36 pages, I guess, 35 pages around, maybe. So let's not think much and let's start reading. So this this talks about a very important thing called the higher intelligence, or basically we are actually impressed by the higher intelligence people who have this kind of thing. Okay, they we think that okay, people who have higher intelligence, they know the world differently, they see the world better, they evaluate thinking, their logical thinking is very awesome, and we can't really achieve that. So we people really go for three choices. So they otherwise join the cults in the name of higher thinking. Like they join the people who has higher thinking, and they try to learn from it, and they do all this crazy stuff that does not make any sense for them as well. And the moment they don't understand okay what the hell is going on, um, they think that they are too profound for them, and for their current state of understanding, right? He says that a lot of people are doing this good for them. I really need to check. I need to reflect. This book is a lot of like reflection. You need to reflect and check. You just can't really read and just binge watch Netflix, or maybe just write a review. You need to reflect on this and just see whether you have this thing in yourself or not. So this book is kind of like that, and you really need to reflect on that. And I quite like this book for that purpose only, I would say. So people think they will become fictional characters, yes, because you think that okay, higher intelligence is something you can't really achieve ever, and if you achieve that, you will be a fictional character. So you like because he says that you are not going to be a fictional character, because the world does not change, you only change. That does not make the world treats you differently. Okay, so people become followers. The reason is that you see that okay, higher intelligence is something you uh, can't really get achieved, so you follow those people who have this already, right? So yeah, you become a follower of them, nothing else. Okay, but he says that anybody can learn how to think. It's rather dull and requires you a lot of commitment over a span of years. So you need a commitment of years if you think that you want to learn how to think. So yeah, the way you think right now. So let me just see that how we actually do it. Let's see if I do some of them or not. Let's see. Here is a very profound thing I would say. He said, because we actually search for our problems on the basis of what we already know. All the he's calling them packets. So the packets of information that we have in our brain or mind. We think that okay, so if somebody asks you that what how to get a girlfriend, and you actually search within your mind that okay, how girls are like, what girls do, and maybe what's your experience with the girls previously. So you actually take decisions based, and you give suggestions based on that only. You don't even know that whether this formula works or not, right? So you don't really ask these questions to yourself that how to actually do this. Instead you just search within yourself and see that okay, that might be the only way. So you just need the feel of satisfaction. So here is a nice way to actually describe this. So let me just read it from as it is. So yeah, the curiosity of finding out has been replaced by the satisfaction from knowing. Okay, even if it's bullshit. But because you have been trained to look for information from the outside, if one packet does not work, you look for another, since countless others are available just a click away. So yeah, this is why most of your problems remains unsolved. Okay, that's why most of our problems are actually unsolved. I quite agree on that. So you rely on packets of information instead of thinking about it yourself. Yeah, so we don't actually think about it ourselves. We just think of all the information that we have from the outside and all the perspective that we have made, right? So we don't go into that mode of like actually finding out the answer of that whenever we get the chance, right? So yeah, that actually keeps a lot of problems of ours unsolved. Here he's saying, and it's quite fine in this regard, I would say. So yeah, let's see what else there is. So when we actually give solution to others problems, uh, he's saying three things we do, three things that it does whenever we try to solve others problem. And like the focus is never entirely on solving their problem. Yeah, that's totally correct. And I think even if you are a person who has the will to like do this, there might be some way that you are not, it's totally not solving their problem. There might be some other things as well. I totally believe on that. I'm not going to say what it is, you know better. And the focus is more on the duty of providing help and how that makes you feel. I feel so happy that I helped them. So whenever we help them, there is a selfish mean as well. Like it makes you happy if you help someone. So that might be doing a good thing, but still it's a selfish motive, right? The focus is on selling that you know what you are talking about, because you don't want to appear incompetent, which is really as a sign of incompetence. Yeah, because you don't want to feel like you are incompetent. If you can't really answer something, you have this, you go into this mode or defensive mode, I would say, where you think that okay, I am the incompetent here, but you are not exactly that. Okay, so yeah, these are the things that can happen, right? here is a very important point that he talks about is that we live in a world where people celebrate knowledge, not intelligence. And so intelligence is like all about how do you think, what are the critical thinking that you have. So he says that in this, even in the school, our parents and everyone teaches us how to learn, and what are the things that we should be learning to be a skilled maybe worker or a businessman or whatever we do in the upcoming life. But they don't really teach much that how to think, right? So that makes people the so it's the word is correctly, let me just read it. I quite like this word. Unimaginative skilled workers. Okay. uh, yeah, so the skilled workers who don't have any imagination or thinking that what how to do how to apply their knowledge properly. So here's the thing that really happens. So he says that knowledge is a great thing when the objective is to make you think. It is a superpower when you use it to make better decisions in your life. Knowledge is what enhances your intelligence because it is food for your thought. But when you don't know how to use knowledge or data, and it is being used to show off, that reveals a lack of intelligence. So you should not gain knowledge just for the sake of like showing off that okay, I read this book and these are the things that my mind is like improved. Okay, see this, I'm an improved person and all this kind of thing. So if you just do this for the show of like, okay, I read this book, I read the Rudest Book Ever, and I am the superhuman, now you can think of me like this. So this is not going to be a solution of your problem. So the problem is like we need to think, we need to know how to actually implement this knowledge in our life, in others' lives as well, if it is required, right? So yeah, the problem with the way our world thinks. Okay, let's see. Guys, I'm taking a break for 30 seconds. I will be back. So guys, I'm back again. Let's just read. Here is a beautiful thing he says, that we live in a society where the knowledge is actually valued. So if we say that okay, we don't know, we are actually, you know, yeah, incompetent in the eyes of the people. So because a lot of people, like, no, people have chosen a side, like left wing, right wing. They always have, you know, people always have figured out that what they know. And honestly speaking, when I reflect, I have seen myself doing this as well over the years, and maybe I do this still now as well. So this book is all about reflection, guys. You really need to read and reflect, okay, whether you do this or not. Maybe you write it down as well, because I do journaling, so you need to, even if you don't do journaling, just think about it in your mind, that what you do. Okay, that's a very nice thing about this book. I quite like this. Okay, here's the thing he said, that the thing is, when only knowledge is valued, one can get it from anywhere, because the source does not matter, right? So this can be an article, a friend, a news comedy, reading the headlines of articles, maybe what people you respect, what people you respect are saying, like all the people that you follow, right? So you these are the sources that can be the source, right? So what all of the above teach you what to think, and this is how we appear competent in this world, none of which comes from how to think, right? So these are the people, these are the sources that shows us what to think. This actually, you know, gives this, make the food and in the plate, and you know, serve us, and we just think, okay, this is the food that you made, that's great, and we just, you know, serve this to others. But we don't really think about how to think about this thing and just write something about it. Maybe just, you know, explore the thing more, right? So we don't do this, right? So let's just read. Here he, you know, pulls up the point of, you know, thinking about people, that if one people is like competent in one thing, suppose suppose one of my colleague is very good with the programming, right? So that does not mean that he's you know, competent in each and every aspect of his life. He maybe is competent in the programming only, but he maybe incompetent in some other section of his life as well, like relationship and whatnot. We don't know, right? So we should stop assuming, like, if one people is like competent in one section. But suppose you're watching a guy who has like 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and he know his stuff, and he even he's showing his stuff through his videos and everything, and he's showing also his flaws and all the things. But that does not mean he's competent. That does not mean if he's competent in the YouTube and all the stuff that he's doing and showing in the YouTube, he's competent in other section of his life as well. Like maybe he's incompetent in some other stuff in his life. Maybe he's suck in the finance. Okay, maybe there can be a plethora of things. We are competent and incompetent being at the same time. He's saying the same thing here. And you need to agree on that, right? So that does not make you follower of anyone. You just appreciate the work they do, and you try to incorporate the best thing that they do in your life. You don't like copy them, but you just get inspired and try to incorporate the best things from their life to your own, right? Yeah, that's great. Here is a very beautiful thing. I like to read it as it is from the book. It does not matter if it is a right wing or left wing or whatever, they all use the same pattern. Facts and logical reasoning is not left or right wing, nor do they give a shit about ideology. So if you think you practice reasoning and common sense, you would not give a fuck about ideology and narratives either. You would find shit on both sides. So each and every side of every coin has pros and cons. Every side of the coin has pros and cons. So the when you think rationally, when you think that okay, there might be some other aspect as well, when you open your mind and you're just open to others perspective as well, you're like, not like you say that okay, our nation is the best nation, our nation is the worst nation. If we can throw out some people from our nation, then that would be a great nation. You don't think about it like this way. You don't take any side, right? You just open your mind and just think okay, all the things that they are going on, you just don't compare yourself like like crazy with other nations or anything like that. This is just an example. So the moment we do this, we actually have this opportunity to see the both side very well. So you just even if you are thinking about, suppose you support one political party, this is an example. It's very easy to give examples with political parties, right? So when you suppose you support one political party and you just don't support that other party, that's when the problem starts to happen. Maybe that other political party is doing something that is really well, and your political party is not doing that. And if you shut your brain and you just for being the blind follower of your own political party, then you won't be able to suggest or justify the actions that your political party is doing, right? So you just shut down your mind and you don't think about anything else. Even they do something bad, you just try to justify yourself, okay, they might be doing the right thing, right? It's because you become the follower of them. So that's not really a right thing, and it can be happen with any celebrity or anything like that. So any influencer as well. So you don't be a follower like this, okay? So that's a really thing, a really nice thing. So when you know how to think, then these are the things that will happen to you for sure, okay? Your personal experience is not the best teacher. Let's see what really happens. So if we actually rely on our experiences, this is not the best teacher. Yeah, maybe sometime. Let's see. Guys, I'm taking a break for 2 minutes. I'll be back. guys, I'm back again and let's just read. Okay. Here is a nice thing. Let me just tell you. He's saying that, and it's true. If you really want to see others' perspective, you need to question your own as well, right? So the way you currently think, you need to question this, so then you can understand the other perspective. So when you just don't say that if something happens, you say that it's a right way propaganda, and maybe if something happens, you say it's a left wing propaganda without putting much thoughts to it, then it's not going to work really well, I would say. So he's saying the same thing here. So I just quite like this for in this regard. And so it says that when we experience something, so why the personal experience is not better, like when you suppose you go to a new country and you have the best experience of everything, like the hotel was best and the people that you met were like best, somehow that was only best. And if some other person go to the same country and for some reason unfortunately they find some people who were not that really good, maybe that 1 or 2% that was not really good, but all the person were like good, but they have this perception in their mind, okay, that country is not good, right? So these are the things, that's how we actually make perception. And so personal experience is not the best teacher always, as he says. I quite agree on that too. So let me know your thoughts, that do you think that personal experience is always the best teacher? I think it's something that really needs to be talked, right? Okay, great. Let's just read more. He's saying a nice thing, that like if you really want to see others' perspective, if you really want to see how to think differently, you need to abandon your current thinking, right? So that's the way. Data is a mind fucker. Okay. There is a very nice thing that says you always stay at nothing as a thinker. So if you are a thinker, if you're a guy or girl who likes to think, and they know you, if you know that how to think, right? So you always stays at nothing. You don't say that, okay, I know everything. You are always hungry for more data. I really hate this. So you are always hungry for more data. There is two reasons. He says that there is always new data that could render your inapplicable, that could render your own explanation inapplicable. Your explanations are the best that your mind could come up with at this moment. So there are the two things that can happen, that your mind can come up with this explanation that is the best one for now, and another is like there is always new data that could render your render your explanation inapplicable. Okay, this keeps you humble and hungry. This also sharpens your mind more as you try to surprise yourself by coming up with a better explanation. So always you, the moment you're hungry and you're humble with the with the knowledge that you have, you try to gain more of that, and you try to sharpen your knowledge. And that's true, guys. Even in my case, even if I know something in my software field, I try to give, add some more flavor to it. I try to search more and just tell them, tell any junior that when ask me that, hey, I'm actually facing this issue. And guys, most of the time I knows this, because these are the things that is so much repetitive we face sometime. But I just don't come up to the conclusion, because there is something that I find always new in the software field. Everything is changing very quickly. So I try to go to the Google, and I try to go to the Stack Overflow and all this side. I try to think more about this, like, so that how this issue can be solved differently as well. So these are the things I do, because I try to try to like to see things in a different way. Maybe I sometimes tell my juniors that you guys solve it, maybe try to find out 2-3 ways to solve this, and then let me know after you solve this. That's the thing I always say. Let me know, just do not just solve it and just move on. Please share with me. That's what I always say, because I really want to know this. Because a problem can be solved in many different ways, and when you are just shut off your mind and saying that, okay, I know everything, then you don't expose yourself to the all the amazing information that is already out there, right? So let's be a thinker. This app keeps happening, I don't know, sometime. Just yeah, okay, that's fine now. Okay, so we move on to the last chapter here. So we almost have so many pages to read. Haha. I thought that I will be reading very less pages, but I can see that, okay, there are almost 10 pages, maybe 11 pages. So let's just read. Somebody is going to try to call me. I think I should. Can you please wait so I can just contact them and get back to it again? So yeah, so please be online. I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just calling some people up. So yeah. Alright, guys, so I'm done. I know I need to apologize for that. That's the problem with live streaming, actually, guys. So you can't really skip anything. You need to show as it is what's because life happens. I needed to call a guy who is going to come to my place, just to collect some blood samples. For it's a regular monthly checkup, nothing else. So I don't know why they actually appointed this time. I actually I have chosen the time for like 8 to 9 a.m. and they're coming at this time. That is, I don't know why. Anyways, so let's just read then. That's the last chapter, which is a few simple things to never forget. Let's see what we should not forget. So he's saying that you should not be a person who can, see spot bullshit from the miles away. You don't need to be a person like this. But when you consume news or saying some people saying something about a specific topic, then you use your own rational thinking about this. So you don't go to the narratives of that. He says the narrative also contains some data. You should totally focuses on the data itself. So you really need to understand when that guy or the news reporter actually use this twists to actually bring us to this platform, that what they want to say to us, and they want to keep us in their boat and sail with us. So we really need to understand at that point of time. Okay, so that's important. Solve your own fucking problems. Okay, I think it's the same thing that he always discuss, like we should not rely on others for our problems, right? Here is a beautiful thing. He says that the more problem you solve, the more you know about yourself, and that's why you need to solve every last one of them. So that's correct. If you don't rely on others just for solving your own problems, that you know yourself better, that how actually you deal with the problems, and what are the problem, and what is the reason that the problem is being first created. You actually recognize all the spots that actually creates the root cause of the problem, right? And you notice the pattern, that okay, that's the thing I do and that creates this problem, right? So you know yourself better, right? So and it's right. Okay, I agree on that. It's okay to feel pain, and let me just read this. Allow yourself to feel pain, not because you can't help it, but because it has earned that place. You made a decision that brought pain to you, right? Don't fight it. Look at the decision which opened that door. That pain could be a reminder of how much you opened yourself to somebody. Fear would advise you to close yourself, never to trust again. That is the lesson of fear. If you have been betrayed, your reasoning would simply make the process of gaining entry harder. That is the lesson of pain, right? So learn the lesson from the pain. So you should not like, your focus should not be like, okay, victimize yourself and say that why this thing only happened to me, only me, why me, right? So yeah, these are the things that may be harder to like practice, but this is a process. And if you even read the book, the Life's Amazing Secrets, that the book that we read previously, than that, you can see that that is a beauty on in this as well. Like this is a process that you can learn it over time. You just be better on that, right? So I know that this camera is having some problem with capturing this. I don't know, maybe I made some calls and or anything like that in the phone while this camera was on. Maybe, I don't know. Let me just see what I can do. Okay, I have restarted the camera. I think it will solve the problem. Yeah. Here's a nice classic advice, like don't compare yourself with anybody, because we make assumptions about others, that what their lives are and what how they're living it, and when we compare it, we don't rely on the actual data. Okay, so that's totally bullshit. Do not compare yourself with others. If you want to compare yourself, just compare yourself with your old version of yourself. So that will be a great thing. So that's a good way to compare, and so that you can see that whether you're actually improving yourself or not, right? What does smart, clever, intelligent, wise, and support and stupid really mean? Okay, let's see. So he describes about 4 types of people here, like uh, a smart person, a clever person, an intelligent person, and a wise person, and how they actually, what are the impacts that we when we see them, and how we actually react, and what are the things that we think about themselves. So I am thinking about making an Instagram carousel about it. So if you really didn't follow us on any social media platform, um, if you're active in Instagram, I highly recommend that you follow us on Instagram, because I am very active, very super active in the Instagram, I would say. And yeah, oh come on. Actually, I'm super active on the Instagram, so if you haven't followed me on Instagram, I highly recommend you do that. And if you really want to follow me on any other platform, that's where I post. In the Facebook, I actually dump each and everything. So if you really want to get each and everything, just follow me on Facebook. So yeah. So wherever you are active, just follow me there. And I'm thinking about making a carousel about this post. I quite like this. So let's see what I can do. I'm not going to say anything much about it, because you get the idea, because it is the last chapter. So I'm going to just read the last paragraphs here. Don't forget, having wrong beliefs is what makes you stupid. It's the right ones that set you free. The only difference is the wrong ones are easily available, and you have to fight for the right ones. Correct. Yeah. With that, we have completed this amazing book called the Rudest Book Ever. And honestly speaking, guys, I did not like this book when I started reading this. I don't know why this is happening. Okay, just look at me. So when I started reading this, I did not like this book much. But when I actually go from chapter 10 or 11, then the book started to getting interesting for me, at least. I'm not saying that will be the same thing for you. You should not make any assumptions or judgment about the book based on the reader, because all the readers are different, and in their perspectives and the way they read is totally different, right? So yeah, Sweta Gangwar is a professional problem solver, and he's ace at it. For the past 5 years, people from all over the world have contacted him with their troubles, and he's worked this out for them. Yes, if you don't follow me, follow Man Sutra on the YouTube. I highly recommend you do follow them. I will try to put the link of Man Sutra on the description of this video, so you can go ahead and follow Sweta Gangwar. He's any problem that you can think of, he at least talk about it. If he did not talk about it, just send him a message. I guess he will obviously take up good problems and solve them. In the process, he has observed a simple pattern. People need a set of principles and perspectives to protect them from all the unnecessary bullshit they go through, codes to live by, essentially, right? But be warned, Gangwar has no desire to spare your feelings. What you will find in the straightforward, straight talking, no crabs given guide is how to deal with rejections of all kinds, how to change your perceptions of people so you don't end up screwed, why a society that sees people as good or bad is dumb, how the research for happiness screws us over, how seeking approval and acceptance kills our individuality, the truth about social media influencers, why should be taught how to think instead of what to think, right? That's the last thing that we did, right? Laying out clear principles, YouTube megastar Gangwar shows how to deal with this shit that has happened to you. It is happening to you and will happen to you. A refreshing, easy to read and relatable guide, the Rudest Book Ever, will make you rethink everything you have been taught, right? So yeah, I had to rethink, and this is the book I'm going to read in maybe in 3 or 6 months, for sure. I'm 100%. I track this thing on Notion. I don't use Goodreads for that. Goodreads is only for what I'm reading and what I have done reading. Is just for the tracking of like how many books I'm reading per year and all this cool stuff, and I can get connected to other people's and see what other people's are reading. But for this kind of tracking, that I'm going to read this book in 6 months or 2 months or maybe 3 months, this I track in the Notion is a software that I highly recommend that you do use if you want to track some things. Maybe you can use Excel or something simpler as well. And anyways, with that, we have completed this book, The Rudest Book Ever by Sweta Gangwar, and tomorrow I have this exciting book that I'm going to read, start from tomorrow, and for this 60-day reading challenge. This is the book I will be reading for like 9 days. So I highly recommend that you follow us on the Instagram, that is ImpleBooks, 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 on social media, each and every social media platform. So it's better if you find us on the Instagram. In the Instagram stories, I will be posting what is the book that I'll be reading tomorrow, and I'm quite excited to read this book for a long period of time. I will be picking up this book, and I'm really excited, really super excited. You can say that that's the best book of this 60-day reading challenge I'm excited for, because I'm obsessed with the productivity. So productivity is the key element of this book, and yeah, I'm quite excited for this. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good day, and don't forget to watch tomorrow that what are the books I'm going to read. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good day.